Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on time worksheet. So this video presents a worksheet on the subject of time, and we have had a lesson on this very topic or this very subject. So if you're not sure how to do some of these questions, then on the next slide there is a link, and if you click on that link, that takes you to the lesson and it will explain how to do all of these examples. So let's have a look at the questions. How many seconds in 3.5 minutes? You just have to know how many seconds in 1 minute, and that's straightforward. How many minutes in 5.25 hours? If you know how many minutes in 1 hour, that's quite straightforward. How many hours in 6.75 days? You need to know how many hours in 1 day. How many days in 11 weeks? Just know how many days there are in 1 week. How many weeks in 9.75 years? If you know how many weeks there are in a year, that's straightforward. And how many years in 9.7 decades? If you know how many years in 1 decade, that's again straightforward. So all these involve multiplication, but you just have to know the conversion. How many years in 4.89 centuries? So you need to know how many years in 1 century. How many minutes in 540 seconds? So again, as long as you know how many seconds there are in 1 minute, that's straightforward. How many hours in 720 minutes? If you know how many minutes in an hour, we can do this one. How many days in 216 hours? We need to know how many hours in 1 day. How many weeks in 105 days? You need to know how many days in 1 week. How many years in 312 weeks? You need to know how many weeks there are in 1 year. How many decades in 250 years? You need to know how many decades in 1 year. How many centuries in 1,400 years? You need to know how many years there are in 1 century. And finally, how many seconds in 1.25 hours? That's an interesting one, because what you need to know there is how many seconds in 1 minute and how many minutes in 1 hour, and then you can work that one out. So just remember, if you're not sure how to do some of them, on the next slide there is a link. If you click on that link, it will take you to the lesson, and there are examples there which show you how to do the sums. So all the best with it, and hopefully you'll go okay.